Hello everyone, and welcome back to another exciting episode of Rebby and Me, and Me and Me and Me. For those of you who don't know, that means me, my two boys, and the baby that she's pregnant with. Today, we're going to be showing you another story from our neighborhood friendly puppet, G-Paw, through the voice of my father, and one of the many stories that he's told to teach lessons of life to his children and anyone else who cares to listen. The reason that this story is so important to me is because it tells a truth that only grandparents, single people, and old dairy farmers seem to claim knowledge of perfectly. That is the key to happiness for children. And the reason I say single people is because single people always seem to know things. I'm looking at you, buddy. And old grandparents always seem to have lived through those things, and, well, dairy farmers just seem to know everything. I hope you enjoy it thoroughly, and we'll be right back to talk about it.
This is Happiness is What You Make It. And it's the story of the cow. I lived on a farm, one farm or another, my whole childhood. I was particularly fond of animals, and tough chores with cattle or pigs were always secretly a joy to me. The animals on the farm had a definite pecking order. The stupidity of the cow, however, is exceeded by only two animals, the turkey and the chicken. And the lessons you can learn from stupid animals are universal. I knew a Holstein that is a dairy calf, which was quite the center of attraction. She was cute and playful, and we all loved her. Calves always seemed brighter than cows to me, or at least cuter, but she was stupid like all the rest. She started jumping her fence. We all thought this was real clever at first, and after all, the really dumb critters would aggravate Dad by leaning on the fence, or reaching for greener grass, or whatever else they might do. Well, she could just sail right over it. But as she got older, and not much older either, this cute stunt became a real pain in the neck. We had to catch her at least weekly, and then daily, and she would periodically anger our immediate neighbor with her indiscriminate munching. But she was still cute. Dad tired of her. Frankly, we were grateful to see her go. She had papers, and this was back in the days when little dairy farmers kept the genealogy of their entire 30 cows. And with her papers, it wasn't hard to sell her. But she wasn't any better for our neighbor down the road. She made it a real test, a battle of wills between her new owner and herself. Each fence got higher, and each successful leap brought new confidence that she could leap over the next one, until a strange thing happened. A calf became a cow. She was never content. The other side of the fence had greener grass. The cattle in the next pasture had something she had to have, etc. She simply could not be happy with her companions in her own pasture, with her own grass. She was very friendly and easy to catch, but she had to have her own way. One day, when Bossy weighed in at a little less than 1,200 pounds, and had an udder the size of a clothes basket, she was still gentle and almost fun to be around, but obstinate. She decided to get out of an enclosure where she was being treated for a minor disorder. Now, we knew she'd want to get out, so our neighbor made sure the fence was high and the gate was secure. She was fed more grain than usual, milked right on time, given fresh hay. She only needed to be there for 2 days, and she could have gone back to her pranks. Nothing could please her. She just had to make the effort. If it had been any other fence in the place, she would have knocked it down, but this was a really sturdy pen. Heavy plank mounted on posts set in concrete. It was nearly 8 feet high. She got a running start, and she would have gotten a 7.5 for Olympic form, but she didn't quite make it, and she left part of her udder on that fence. She had to be destroyed. Since this incident, I have really paid close attention to my grandfather's commentary. He was an old dairy farmer who said that really happy cows seem to feel the need to touch their nose to the electric fence just to be sure it's hot. But one good jolt a month seemed almost comforting, and the happy cow, pleased with the knowledge of her limits, seemed content to remain grazing in her own pasture. This is true. Ask any old farmer. I believe that kids are like that. Parents have to establish clear limits. Kids need to know their limits precisely, and they need to learn them while they're young. Then, as they nose the fence, daily it seems during their teenage years, they learn to be happy, grazing in their own pastures. It's true. Ask any old parent. Now, a kid is like a kite. The string, that is the limit, does not hold it back, but it makes it soar. Unless a kite soars, it's just not a real kite. The theory, well, if kids never try to scale the deadly fence, they will never destroy themselves on deadly limits. The bottom line, they will learn to be truly happy. Hey, Mom and Dad, isn't that all we really want? The end.
I hope you all enjoyed that, and I know this was obviously not one of the more happy stories that we'll be sharing with you on this channel, but the story of the milk cow has always been very harrowing for me, especially now that I'm a young parent, because if a child doesn't have boundaries set at home with family that love them, then the child will be given boundaries by the world, and the boundaries are non-existent, but the consequences are dire. Whereas the boundaries may be tighter in a family spectrum, the consequences are not nearly as dire or as permanent. And so that story really helps me understand the need for boundaries in a child's life and how that can lead the child to be happy with their surroundings, even as they test barriers for us as parents. This is Michael with Rebby and Me, and I hope that this video has lifted your day somehow. And we'll see you in the next video.
See?
Say bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
No, come here. Say bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye, guys.
Bye, guys.